Welcome to engNatural, where we explore fascinating topics to help you learn English naturally. I'm Puck, and today we're diving into something truly foundational: self-confidence. You know, that feeling of inner strength and belief in yourself? It's something we all want more of, right? Have you ever felt that little voice of doubt holding you back from trying something new or speaking up? I think we all have. We're going to talk about what self-confidence truly is, why it's so important, and how you can cultivate it in your own life. It's not about being loud or boastful. It's about a quiet, steady belief in your own capabilities. So, if you're ready to explore how to build that unshakable self-confidence, stay tuned. Before we jump in, if you're enjoying our conversations and finding them helpful for your English listening practice, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more people who want to learn English naturally, just like you. So let's kick things off by really defining what self-confidence means. Because it's not just about, being able to walk into a room and instantly feel like you own it, is it? It's deeper than that. Exactly. I think a lot of people confuse confidence with arrogance or just being outgoing. But for me, it's more about a deep-seated belief in your own abilities and your worth. It's that inner certainty that you can handle challenges, even when things get tough. It's not about never feeling fear, but about facing it head-on. It reminds me of a time early in my career. I was given this huge project, something I'd never done before, and honestly, I felt completely overwhelmed. My first instinct was to say, I can't do this. Oh, I totally get that feeling, right? But then I thought, wait a minute, I've handled tough situations before. I've learned new things. Maybe I don't know how to do this specific thing yet, but I know how to learn. And that shift, that small shift in thinking, was huge. It wasn't about being an expert already, but about trusting my capacity to become one. So it's really about that belief in your capability to adapt and grow, rather than just what you already know. Precisely, and that's where its importance comes in. If you don't have that basic level of confidence, you're less likely to even try new things. You might miss out on incredible opportunities, or not speak up when you have a brilliant idea, just because you doubt your own voice. It's true. Self-confidence really fuels action, doesn't it? It's like the engine that gets you moving. Without it, you might just stay parked. Exactly. Think about it. Applying for a new job, starting a new hobby, even just having a difficult conversation with a friend. All these things require a certain degree of confidence. It's not about being perfect, but about being brave enough to be imperfect and try anyway. And it's not just about big moments either. It's in the small, everyday interactions too. The way you present yourself, the way you speak, even the way you listen. That quiet confidence allows you to be truly present. Absolutely. It affects everything: your relationships, your career, your mental well-being. When you trust yourself, you're more resilient when things go wrong, and you're more open to success when things go right. It's like having a strong internal compass. So it really underpins so much of our lives. It's not just a nice-to-have, but an essential tool for navigating the world, wouldn't you say? Oh, without a doubt. It's a foundational piece of a well-lived life. And the great news is, it's something you can build, step by step. Now, if self-confidence is so vital, why do so many of us struggle with it? What are the roots of self-doubt? Because understanding the problem is the first step to solving it, right? Absolutely. I think one of the biggest culprits is past experiences. If you've tried something and failed, or you've been criticized, those memories can really stick with you. They whisper, "Don't try again, you'll just mess up." Oh, that's so true. It's like those failures become permanent markers, even if they were just one moment in time. right? And it's not just big failures. Even small perceived failures can build up. And then there's the comparison trap. Oh my goodness, social media is a huge one for this. Tell me about it. It's so easy to scroll through feeds and see everyone else's highlight reels, and then you start comparing your behind-the-scenes struggles to their perfectly curated lives. Exactly. And suddenly you feel like you're not smart enough, or successful enough, or pretty enough. It's a vicious cycle that breeds self-doubt. It really is, and it's so common. I remember a phase where I was constantly comparing my career path to friends who seemed to be achieving so much more, faster. It was exhausting and completely drained my confidence. Oh, I've been there. It's like you're running your own race, but you keep looking over your shoulder to see how fast everyone else is going, and then you stumble. That's a perfect analogy. And then there's that negative self-talk, isn't there? The inner critic who just loves to point out every single flaw or potential mistake. Ah, yes, the inner critic. That voice can be so loud sometimes. It's amazing how easily we can internalize those negative thoughts, even if they're not true. It's fascinating how we often say things to ourselves that we would never say to a friend. We wouldn't tell our friend, "Oh, you're terrible at this, just give up." But we'll say it to ourselves in a heartbeat. So true. It's like we're our own worst enemies sometimes. And external criticism plays a role too. If you've had people in your life who constantly put you down or questioned your abilities, that can erode your confidence over time. Even if it wasn't intentional, it leaves a mark. Absolutely. So recognizing these roots, whether it's past failures, comparing yourself to others, your inner critic, or external negativity, is the first step to dismantling that doubt, right? Precisely. Once you're aware of why you might be feeling a lack of confidence, you can start to address those specific triggers and narratives. It's about becoming an observer of your own thoughts, rather than just a victim of them. All right, so we've talked about what self-confidence is and where self-doubt comes from. Now for the exciting part. How do we actually build that unshakable self-confidence? What are some practical strategies we can use? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is setting small, achievable goals. We often aim for these massive, life-changing goals, and when we don't hit them instantly, we get discouraged. But confidence builds through success, no matter how small. That's brilliant. It's like taking baby steps, isn't it? Instead of trying to run a marathon on day one, you start with a short walk. Exactly. If your goal is to write a book, don't start by saying, "I'm going to write a bestseller this year." Start with, "I'm going to write 500 words today." And when you hit that 500 words, celebrate it. That small win creates a ripple effect of confidence. I love that, celebrating small wins. We often overlook those, don't we? We're so focused on the big picture that we forget to acknowledge the progress along the way. Yeah, it's like our brain says, "That wasn't a big deal," but it is a big deal because it's proof you can do it. Another powerful strategy is consistency. It's not about doing something perfectly once, but doing it consistently, even imperfectly. Consistency over perfection. That's a huge one. It builds momentum and proves to yourself that you can stick with something. And tied into that, I found that developing competence in an area you care about is a massive confidence booster. The more you learn, the more you practice, the better you become. And that mastery naturally leads to more self-assurance. So if you want to be confident about public speaking, you actually need to practice public speaking. Exactly. Action creates competence, and competence creates confidence. Now here's an unexpected but incredibly effective tip that I've personally found invaluable. Dress for how you want to feel, not how you feel. Oh, that's interesting. Tell me more. It sounds simple, almost superficial, right? But think about it. When you wake up feeling a bit sluggish or uncertain, and you put on clothes that make you feel good, that make you feel capable and put together, it can literally shift your mindset. It's not about expensive clothes, but about choosing something that makes you feel strong and ready. It's a subtle act of self-care and self-respect that signals to your brain, I'm ready for this. Wow, I never thought of it that way, but it makes so much sense. It's almost like a little ritual to step into a confident mindset. It really is. It's a small external cue that triggers an internal shift. And finally, practicing positive self-talk. It sounds cliché, but actively challenging that inner critic is crucial. When you catch yourself saying, I can't do this, reframe it to, I can learn how to do this, or I'll give it my best shot. So it's about consciously changing the narrative in your head. Precisely. These strategies aren't magic bullets, but they are powerful tools that, when used consistently, truly build unshakable self-confidence. So, we've talked about building confidence. But here's the reality. Confidence isn't a fixed state. It ebbs and flows. How do we maintain that confidence? And perhaps even more importantly, how do we bounce back when we inevitably face setbacks or moments of doubt? That's a crucial point because everyone experiences setbacks. It's not about avoiding them, but how you respond to them. One strategy I've found incredibly helpful is to recognize that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person has failed countless times.
That's a really healthy perspective. It reframes failure as a learning opportunity rather than a final judgment.
Exactly. So when you hit a bump in the road, instead of thinking, I'm a failure, shift to, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? It's about curiosity, not condemnation.
Curiosity, not condemnation. I like that. So it's about self-compassion, isn't it? Being kind to yourself in those moments.
Absolutely. And that leads to another key strategy, practicing self-compassion. Forgive yourself when you mess up. We are often so much harder on ourselves than we would ever be on a friend. If your friend made a mistake, you wouldn't say, you're useless, give up. You'd say, it's okay, you tried, let's learn from it. Extend that same grace to yourself.
That's so true. We need to be our own best cheerleaders, especially when we're down.
Yeah, and on that note, surrounding yourself with supportive people is also vital. The people you spend time with have a huge impact on your mindset. If you're constantly around people who are negative or put you down, it's going to chip away at your confidence.
Choose your tribe wisely, right? People who lift you up.
Precisely. And don't forget to reflect on your progress. It's easy to focus on what you haven't achieved yet, but taking time to look back at how far you've come, the challenges you've overcome, the skills you've gained, that's a powerful way to reinforce your confidence.
It's like building a mental win file that you can revisit when you're feeling low.
Yes, I remember a few years ago I was working on a really big, long-term project, and honestly, there were so many moments where I felt like quitting. I hit so many roadblocks, and my confidence just plummeted. I kept thinking, I'm not cut out for this. I've made a huge mistake.
Oh, that sounds really tough.
It was. There were days I wanted to just throw my hands up. But what helped me bounce back was breaking it down. Instead of looking at the massive mountain still ahead, I'd look at the small hill I'd just climbed. I'd remind myself of the difficult parts I'd already figured out, the small victories. And I'd call a trusted friend who reminded me of my past successes. It wasn't about magically feeling confident again, but about taking tiny steps forward even when I felt afraid. And eventually, the confidence started to trickle back in. It taught me that it's okay to doubt as long as you keep moving.
What a great story. It really highlights the importance of perseverance and having that internal and external support. So it's really about continuous self care and resilience.
Well, we've covered a lot today on building unshakable self-confidence, haven't we? We started by understanding what it truly means, not arrogance, but a quiet, deep-seated belief in yourself. We explored the common roots of self-doubt, from past experiences to the comparison trap and that nagging inner critic. And then we dived into powerful, practical strategies for cultivating confidence, like setting small, achievable goals, celebrating those tiny wins, and even the unexpected tip of dressing for how you want to feel. Finally, we talked about maintaining that confidence and bouncing back from setbacks, reminding ourselves that failure is a part of the journey and self-compassion is key. Remember, building confidence is a journey, not a destination. It's about taking those small, consistent steps every day, forgiving yourself when you stumble, and recognizing that your inherent worth is not tied to your perceived successes or failures. You have an incredible amount of power within you, and cultivating self-confidence is about tapping into that power. Thank you so much for joining me today on engNatural, where we truly believe you can learn English naturally through meaningful conversations like this one. I hope this episode has given you some actionable insights and a renewed sense of empowerment. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small step you're going to take this week to boost your self-confidence? Share your thoughts with us, and let's encourage each other. Don't forget to like this episode, share it with a friend who might benefit, and of course, subscribe to engNatural for more conversations that help you on your English journey. Until next time, keep believing in yourself and keep exploring. Bye for now.